All right, let's get going. So what we're going to do today, I'm Zoe DeStories. I'm a senior product owner here at CRIO. And what I'll be going over in our very short little flash webinar here is what our Looker iFrame is, um, what it offers you. We'll do a little live demo of key features, some tips and tricks for issues you might run into or questions you might have around downloads, filtering, and then we'll end with resources, places to get help if you need it, and if we have a chance for some questions, we'll take those as well. All right. So Looker is a dedicated reporting tool through Google. We've historically offered Looker as a separate paid offering with extended customization, a larger set of reports from our standard set of reports. And that's been something where people actually log into the Looker platform itself and use Looker directly in that platform. The Looker iFrame actually takes Looker and puts it into our regular site application. So what we've done is that standard set of reports that we've always offered, we've replaced those with an iFrame that displays the corresponding report from Looker. And so this was released on September 18th, very recently. And for us, Looker clients are going to have a more consistent experience between Looker and the site application. And all clients are going to now have access to Looker capabilities for that standard set of reports. Looker is going to offer better filtering capabilities, more download options, and even the ability to schedule reports to send directly to your email on whatever cadence you like. I'm going to move out of this and go directly into our application. So this is our report set, and we're taking a look right now at finance. One thing to note with this is that we've only, for this release, replaced our finance reports with the Looker iFrame. So you won't see Looker in recruitment reports, operations, but for now, just for finance. But any finance report that you look at, you'll sort of see this gray, slight gray background area. That is the iFrame that is displaying this report directly from Looker. And you'll notice it looks a little bit different from our existing reports. You'll have, for example, a number of reports potentially showing on the same page. So in the previous version of this report, you actually had to filter by study or by referral source or by status in order to see that populate. And here we will basically display it all on the same page. An important thing to note about that instance where you have multiple reports on a page is that there are actually actions you can do for an individual, what we call a tile here, versus the entire page. So if I wanted to download all of my data for revenue by study, there's actually a little icon here, dot, 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 where I can access tile actions. And so if I click that and click download data, and I'll go to advanced data options, I can select my options, unformatted. I definitely want all results. I don't want to just see the data that is currently displaying on the screen, right? Which would be paginated to only show what comfortably fits on the screen. So I would show all. If I want, I could pick a certain number of rows. and I can download that. And I can choose the format I want as well. If I want a CSV, for example, but probably Excel is going to be what I want. That will download the data for this tile. And most of the time, that's probably what you're going to be wanting to do for a download. That would be different from if I wanted to download the entire dashboard. So a good use case for something like that might be if I wanted a PDF that shows just a snapshot of all of these reports, right, with the totals. I could come here to Dashboard Actions and click Download. And I similarly get different options, but here I might pick PDF, fit page to dashboard, and download that, right? And that could give me, it's going to just generate this for me, but that could give me sort of just a totally different type of download that might be useful for me. And that processed, and that's what that would look like. So it sort of depends what I want here, but I do have those options. Just as a note, if you're looking at the download and trying to remember exactly how to get that download for all of the data for all of the rows in one of these tiles, we have this get to know reports link here. You can click that, and we have a screenshot and some steps here if you forget how to access that. So that's a good reference for you. Other things to note here, I have the ability to schedule reports to send to my email. So if I wanted to do that, I can click on Dashboard Actions and I can schedule delivery, and I can set my settings to, I can call this whatever I want. I can choose a format for my export. I can enter in my email address where I want this to send. I have some advanced options here. Here right now it's set to PDF, so this would be sending this PDF to myself. But you know, I might choose for a zip file. I can choose how often I want it to send. I even have I even have customization options around the filters that I'm setting. So if I want it to filter by a certain study or time period even, right? I could say, I want it to send data from the previous month every month on some cadence. And that could be a really great tool for sending yourself revenue data from the previous month, you know, maybe at the end of the month, every month. So a bunch of different options there. Once I set that up, it will be set up and it will just continue to send. This is a user specific setting. So if I ever want to come in and edit this, I can edit it. I can create more rules. I could delete this rule. A few different options there, but basically anytime I come in and I were to click this again, I would see that existing rule that I'd configured for myself for this report. One other thing I wanted to highlight here with the reports are the filtering options. So you'll see these filters look a little bit different from our existing reports. They'll show up at the top, and you'll have a lot more sort of canned options. So instead of just having a date picker with a start date and an end date, you could really configure your dates in a lot of different ways here, right? Where I could have, you know, data in a particular year, or on or after a certain date, or what have you. And so I would encourage you to play around with these and sort of, you know, see what you can build. One note with this is that if you do set a filter that it has not been run on the report yet, you'll see that this little uh, arrow, almost recycle sign, highlights in blue. And that tells me that there is a report that a report filter that I've set that I have not yet run, that needs to be run. So it won't automatically run as soon as I set this filter. I basically would go, I configure all the filters I want. I click here, update. It's going to spin and load for a moment, and then I will get my updated data. And in that case, there was no data in my test site for October, so I get no results there. But yeah, all right. We'll just move on over here. So notes on help for this. We'll send this out, but there are release notes from our September 18th release. There's also a Confluence guide, which was sent out in advance of this functionality going live. Always encourage you to utilize live chat, our support at email for support. And as a note, if you are interested in exploring our full Looker offering, you start playing around with this and you're curious what other functionality that full Looker offering would offer, your CSM will be happy to share more information with you about that. I will stop sharing my screen. Let's see. Yeah. So one question we got, which I'll address very quickly, is around the data delay in data showing up. So one thing that's important to note with the Looker iFrame is that the data actually needs to be sent from CRIO to Looker. And so that data doesn't necessarily sync immediately. We would say, honestly, if you're doing end of month reporting and you want to make sure that everything has synced over and that it's up to date, I would wait 24 hours and just make sure that everything's had an opportunity to sync over. Just to be on the safe side. We are looking into sort of getting that, syncing as fast as we can, so that there's not too much of a delay, and trying to get you a little bit more information on exactly, as of what date it's up to date for, but that's something we're currently working on. All right. And I know we're at 12:15. So if you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to your CSM, and we'll be happy to help get them answered. All right. Thank you all.